Hey everyone, how's it going? Aaron Rift here, along with good old JM, Jeff Meacham. This is Jeff's opportunity to do Clash of Champions predictions here on the No DQ channel, and also my chance to add whatever I want to my predictions from a few days ago. We had some technical difficulties with David Payne. Jeff was unable to be on, so I figured we would do a new video here, and I have Jeff on the split screen. How are you doing today, Jeff?
I am doing good, Aaron. Life is good. I've got my boy in Cub Scouts. We actually went today to get his little wolf den handbook thing. I got paid today from the Halloween store. I got soccer practice with my boy. Everything is going. It's a great day to be Jeff Meacham.
Yep, and you're back here on the No DQ channel. We're testing out this new software. This is actually software that I paid for, split screen technology. Hopefully the quality is better than some of the previous videos. No more Google Hangouts. I'm really hoping we can avoid Google Hangouts and have a sufficient way of doing these videos, getting them up quickly without too much trouble and hassle. And I'm trying to improve the quality, so let's hope that this will be better for the most part.
Well, while we're on the topic of returning No DQ, I did mention I was going to bring back After the Bell this week. However, since we're doing PPV predictions, there's no real point in me covering Raw, SmackDown, and NXT because I'm already doing the show. It's going to be after those shows. So next week, talk wrestling and After the Bell.
Sounds good. I think I'll let you do most of the talking for this video, and I'll go ahead and add my 2 cents for whatever, give my updated predictions, although I think my predictions will remain the same as the video from a few days ago. So let's get started. We'll talk about the kickoff match. There are 8 matches announced for Clash of Champions, which is more than the previous SmackDown pay-per-view Backlash. First match on the kickoff show is Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. I talked to David about this. I basically think it's just a match to showcase Nia Jax. What are your thoughts?
Have to agree with that. They're not going to have this huge run that Nia Jax has been on in recent weeks and the recent months even, because it's been about 2 months since the brand extension, almost 2 months. So you got to figure they're not going to have her lose to Foxy. And I've made no qualms with the fact that I can't stand Alicia Fox as a person or in the ring on WWE TV. So I hope that Nia just beats a holy dog out of her.
Well, there you have it. I agree. I think it's going to be very one-sided, and maybe I think Alicia Fox will get a little bit of offense in like Sin Cara did on Raw against Braun Strowman. It'll be similar to that. And really, it's just a kickoff match, so who cares? It's just a showcase for Nia.
Exactly. That's all it's going to be.
All right, so let's move on to the main card. We have the Cruiserweight Championship match. TJ Perkins defending for the very first time against the Brian Kendrick. What are your thoughts on the Cruiserweight division being back? The first match on Raw, what did you think of that? And what are your predictions for this match?
Well, I was going to mention the Cruiserweight Classic on the After the Bell I Never Determined. I got to say, that whole tournament really shook me to my core. I absolutely loved every part of that whole tournament. I thought it went very well. I was legitimately surprised. I purposely did not read spoilers ahead, or I watched as live as I could. Seeing our boy TJ Perkins win the Cruiserweight Championship was something that I never expected to see in WWE history. And this match on Sunday between him and Kendrick, you got to guarantee the PWG's original 6 are sitting back there having a wet dream right now in the back. They're going, oh my God, our 2 boys are on WWE TV for the Cruiserweight Championship, Kendrick and Perkins. This is something that every PWG fan is going, oh, we can't believe it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I talked about this, I think, in one of my videos, that the Cruiserweight division, and the Cruiserweight Classic in particular, was like WWE's version of the Battle of Los Angeles from PWG. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. We were part of many a Bola over the years, Aaron, you and I. And Bola is something that has captured the imagination of the world of wrestling. I mean, you get people, Cody Rhodes, one of his first things on his list was Bola, and he was there this year. So Bola is a world unto itself, and for the WWE to take the 32 arguably best cruiserweights on the planet and put them in one setting, and then for Triple H to come out there at the very end and go, by the way, new champion for this. That's something that makes me go, maybe there is hope for WWE booking yet.
Yeah, we got to get you in the front row at one of these Full Sail University tapings just to see you jumping around, and people could make graphics of that and video loops. That would be tremendous.
The meme generation of that would be astronomical.
Yeah, exactly. So you have some history with TJ, don't you?
I kind of do. We go back a long way, TJ and I, as far as interacting with Gary. Gary Yap of Epic War and most recently WWF.
Independent promotion in Southern California, just for those that don't know.
Right, sorry, yeah. Epic War was around, I want to say from 2002 till about 2009, 2010 or so, maybe a little bit later than that. And TJ worked with them a lot, and Gary kind of outed the whole thing with EWF recently on a post. So Gary and TJ worked together at EWF for a while, and actually part of the whole thing they did together, they brought in Brian Kendrick for one of those matches, I believe. So we have seen Kendrick and TJ before, not just in independence, but now we're going to see it in WWE's main stage, or not main stage, but AWW stage. And this is going to be really cool. I think that the whole definition of a career renaissance for Kendrick is very apropos. I think that Kendrick is giving himself a resurgence, and I think that part of him agreeing to train Eva Marie, or however well that went, WWE got to see that Kendrick has changed, and here he's grown. So for me, this is as much a redemption match for Kendrick as it is a Cruiserweight Championship match for TJ to defend the title.
Yeah. Hey, I have to correct you there. It's actually Eva Marie that trained Brian Kendrick for his big comeback.
I was just going to say, it's so funny how Eva Marie gets all this training with Brian and the Santino's dojo out here, and all of a sudden...
there goes your backdrop.
They went the backdrop. Screw it, whatever. Who cares? That's all right. It's live TV. Who gives a damn? So for me, it's just so funny that he trained her and got all these moves into her, and then they totally misuse her, and then she gets suspended, and here comes Kendrick on the comeback trail.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. So, what's your prediction for this match?
I don't think you're going to have TJ lose just yet. I think you're going to have him be champion for a little while. So I would say TJ retains for now. And I dare say even into Royal Rumble season, he will still be champion.
Well, there you have it. I agree with you. I think TJ will retain. He just won the title. No sense in him losing it right away. I think Kendrick is there to help put over the younger talent. And it's hard to say younger talent when it comes to Brian Kendrick because he's only 37. But yeah, there are younger talents out there, and he is a veteran. Even at 37, he's been around for a very long time, and that's his role in the company right now. All right.
Yeah, remember his tag team championship reign with Kendrick was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's
with London. Excuse me, London was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. So yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him, and hopefully he'll have a good showing, and they'll have a really good match here on the pay-per-view. Next up, we have Cesaro versus Sheamus. Conveniently, the final match of the Best of 7 series on pay-per-view. I'm not really thrilled about this match, honestly. I'm just not feeling it that much. What are your thoughts on this match and the series in general?
Somebody asked me on Talk Wrestling this week about who I wanted the Best of 7 series, and I said AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and they called Joe up, because that would be every TNA, Ring of Honor, indie fans' ultimate dream to have those two guys in a Best of 7 and go 7.
Right.
Cesaro and Sheamus, I get they're trying to get interest back in these two guys again. I get they're trying to make people believe that Sheamus and Cesaro are both viable contenders to any championship they challenge for. And while that is true in Cesaro's case, because Cesaro is easily, pound for pound, the strongest guy in the company, He's been buried by the boss directly on a broadcast on the network. You can't get any more buried than that.
Yeah,
when Vince McMahon says he's not connecting with the audience, that tells everybody, whatever, hell with him then.
Yeah.
And then you got Sheamus, who I've never, ever really bought. Like, I get that he's Triple H's workout buddy, and that's how he got his start in WWE, and that's how he got his big push and defeated Cena and did the whole thing. But ever since they returned him heel and gave him that ridiculous haircut, he's been completely unbelievable as a threat to anybody, including a 5-year-old schoolgirl.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just completely useless, and his uselessness has dragged Cesaro down into this best of 7 nonsense. And hopefully, my prediction is Cesaro. And hopefully, once Cesaro beats Sheamus, he can go on and challenge for, I'm assuming, the U.S. Championship against either Rusev or Roman Reigns. We'll go to that in a second. But hopefully Cesaro will get a renewed push here.
Yeah. So I believe it is going to be the U.S. title and not the world title, which is unfortunate that they're doing all these matches just to go for the U.S. title. Whatever. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. This whole best of 7 series is who cares. And the fact that it's for, at the end of the day, the mid-card prize, it's like, waste of time.
Yeah, so I'm going with Cesaro here. I think that's your pick as well, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All righty. So next up, we were talking about him just a moment ago, Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the United States Championship. Rusev, he's been on fire as the champion, but Roman Reigns has been pushed to the moon again. He beat the Universal Champion on Raw in a steel cage match, which is very interesting. What were your thoughts on that and your predictions for this match?
Well, it always happens with you and I. Whenever I stop filming or recording something, the minute I hit send to you, I get 10 questions about something. It's like, okay. Rusev is facing Roman Reigns, and all of a sudden we have Roman Reigns on Raw defeating the champion, the main champion. It's like, okay, first of all, Kevin Owens looks weak there because he had the title defense on Sunday, and he's losing the marquee match the Raw previous. Now, that leads the credence to, okay, well, if he loses on Monday, he wins on Sunday, and that's fine. But the fact that Roman won on Monday would normally lead us to believe that he's going to lose on Sunday. And since Rusev and Rollins looked so weak in the opening match of Raw with the whole double count, whatever that was, the schmoz thing, you would think that, okay, Roman won, so he's going to lose. I don't think Roman's going to lose. But I also don't think that Roman's going to win the United States Championship. There is no reason whatsoever for Roman Reigns, Mr. Main Event the last 2.5 years, to be relegated to the U.S. Championship. People say, oh, well, Cena did it. Cena, as he always did, elevated the U.S. Championship again when he beat Rusev at WrestleMania 1.5 years ago. If Roman wins the U.S. Championship, it'll do nothing but drag it down and drag him down.
Right. Yeah.
So I say Roman wins and ends the feud decisively, but I don't think he's going to win the championship.
Well, at SummerSlam, we had a big screw job where there wasn't even a match. So what, they're going to do another match with a DQ or a count out or not something undecisive?
When I said decisive, that was kind of an inaccurate statement. I would think that Roman's going to beat Rusev so badly and so decisively at some point during the match that Rusev's going to take his belt and walk up the ramp.
Okay, so
you think it's going to be a count. I hate that. It's lame. But again, I don't see a world where it makes sense that Roman Reigns is the mid-card champion.
Well, maybe they booked themselves into a corner here where they do not want Reigns winning the U.S. title, but at the same time, they want to protect both guys. So they're going to come up with some screw job finish again. I think there's a very good chance of that happening, but my prediction is that Rusev will win with tons of outside interference and lots of shenanigans. I don't know. It's a really hard one to call because I'm not sure where they're going with all this.
It's so funny. I read the report on No DQ today or yesterday about the fact that Vince hasn't been at TV. He's been booking from home from the office because he got hurt, and that Triple H and Stephanie have been very much in control of the product. It's like you would think with Triple H in charge, it would flow better.
Right.
But even he's having trouble booking this crap.
Yeah, so you're going with Reigns to win but not win the title, and I'm going with Rusev to retain by beating him somehow, whether it's maybe Roman will just snap and Roman will get DQ'd or counted out or something.
Maybe.
All right. So next up we have Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. I'm really looking forward to this match. I think it has the potential to be the best match of the night. Sami Zayn has been having several Match of the Year contenders. I would say at least 3 of them. The Nakamura match, the Fatal 4-Way match, and then the match with Kevin Owens. So I'm really hoping that this is another show-stealing performance from Sami Zayn. What are your thoughts on this match and your prediction?
Well, it's funny. Somebody mentioned to me a few days ago that AJ Styles has been the MVP of WWE for 2016. I look at that statement on my computer and I went, AJ's had some really good outings this year. AJ Styles has been really good. But then you look at Sami Zayn, Nakamura, the Fatal 4-Way, the Triple Threat, all the matches that, whether he's won or lost, he's been consistently good in and done consistently well in each of those outings. Sami Zayn is easily the most valuable guy they have right now because he can wrestle anybody on either roster.
Right. And we saw with PWG how he stole the show like every night.
Dude, El Generico would go out there, and if he could have climbed on the basketball hoop and done a move off of that, he would have done it.
Well, I think Human Tornado did that, actually.
That's because Craig's crazy.
Yeah.
He's nuts. And too much weed. Anyway. Yeah, thanks. But Sami Zayn has always been a potential show stealer. And there's no bigger guy that's been a show stealer in the last almost 20 years of his WWE career than Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Chris Jericho, with the exception of his rough championship reign, undisputed championship reign, and his rough start with the promos being ragged down our throats, he's been consistent from day one. These two guys are two of the best on the roster right now, age or not, speed or not, whatever you want to call it. These two guys are really going to go out there and have a good match. And this is one of those things where, again, do you really see a need to put Chris Jericho over in 2016? No, Sami Zayn needs to win, not Chris Jericho.
I agree. I think Sami needs it. And, the only reason I could see Jericho winning is if he somehow interferes in the Universal title match and goes on to be part of a triple threat against Rollins and Owens, which is something that's been rumored for Hell in a Cell. That would be one way of justifying Jericho winning, but he could still lose and interfere and then somehow get into the Universal Championship match. Or they even do 50-50 booking where Sami wins the pay-per-view and Jericho gets a rematch on Raw and beats him and then goes on to the Universal title. I could see that happening as well.
Well, there's no greater example of losing earlier and then winning later than night than Edge. Right. He lost to Ric Flair by disqualification at New Year's Revolution and went on to cash in Money in the Bank that night.
Yeah, well.
So it is a repeat situation, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happened that way.
Yeah, so it could go either way. I mean, this one's hard for me to call, but I would go with Sami Zayn to win, and maybe Jericho gets his win back or whatever. But I'd rather see Sami win on the pay-per-view. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, my gut tells me Sami.
Yeah. All right, so moving on here, we have the Women's Championship match. Charlotte defending against both Sasha Banks and Bayley. Originally, it was supposed to be just Charlotte versus Sasha. Then they did the double pinfall thing and played up on that and added Bayley to the match by Mick Foley. So we now have a triple threat going in. What are your thoughts on this match? Do you think Bayley should win, or do you think it's too soon for her to be going for the women's title? What are your thoughts?
It's not too soon for her to challenge. It is too soon for her to win. She, for the casual, non-NXT watching audience, she's brand new.
Right.
So for me, I think that's a bad idea for her to win. It's also, I see a scenario where, and this is completely off the top of my head as I'm saying it, I was thinking about this as you were approaching the match here. I really think that they wanted to go with Sasha as the champion and turn her heel so slowly and then build towards Sasha versus Bayley at WrestleMania.
Well, that's what I want to see.
So what I'm thinking is either Sunday or sometime in the not too distant future, Sasha becomes the champion again and then makes that slow burn of a heel turn right around Rumble, let's say. And then we get to Bayley versus Sasha at Mania in Orlando.
Yeah.
So for me, I think Sasha wins it back Sunday, and then we get that little checkpoint of, okay, here's where it starts, and the deadline, the end game is WrestleMania. Yeah. With Bayley.
Yeah, it's just weird that Sasha lost the title at SummerSlam and then she's already back 1 month later back in the title picture. It's just really weird. Why even take the title off of her in the first place if she was going to be better? I think she got better sooner. She got better news than what they were expecting. I think that's what happened.
Well, originally the back injury was more serious than they thought, and then when they evaluated it, they went, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah. So yeah, I was gonna go with Bayley just because the pattern of her doing the job on Raw, losing to Charlotte, that makes me think she will win. But I could see Sasha winning this. I think I'm gonna change my prediction. I think I'm gonna go with Sasha to win the title here. And WWE will go with the original plan of building up Sasha Banks and then turning her heel and then doing Sasha versus Bayley, slow build to it for WrestleMania 33. So I'm gonna go with Sasha and have Bayley win the title at WrestleMania. I think that would be the place for her to win. That seems to be the right booking decision.
I would definitely turn Charlotte heel eventually,
Sasha
right away. Like I would even
Sasha.
Sasha. Yeah, I would turn Sasha heel eventually, but I would even team them up and really just build and build and build, and then boom,
like the mega powers,
on Bayley.
like female mega,
like the mega powers, exactly.
All right, so yeah, I'm changing my prediction to Sasha winning the title. She'll pin Charlotte and win the title, and then Dana will somehow screw up and cost Charlotte the match, and then that'll set up Charlotte versus Dana Brooke.
At Survivor Series.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think Dana's going to cost Charlotte the title, and Sasha will
Makes sense to me.
All right, so moving on here, we have the Tag Team Championship match, New Day against Anderson and Gallows. I talked with David about this. I think because of the fact that WWE's bringing up Demolition, there's a reason for that. They wouldn't just be doing it for no reason. And I think it's because New Day's going to break the record. And also, I feel Anderson and Gallows have cooled off significantly, and I do not feel they should beat New Day for the championships. I think New Day should they're so close now, they should just keep the titles until they break Demolition's record. What do you think about this match?
If you'd asked me that for SummerSlam, I'd have said Gallows Anderson would have beat him just to make everybody go, whoa.
Yeah.
They lost the titles. But now you're right. They keep bringing up Demolition over and over and over. And Xavier Woods keeps calling them the WWE World Tech. They keep doing the whole calling the belt the wrong name.
Right.
On purpose. Because they're not even they're the Raw Tag Team Champions now. So they're building towards something. And I don't think that Gallows Anderson are a part of that something. So they're going to lose something.
Yeah, I'd rather see like New Day stay champions until Survivor Series or December, whenever they break the record. I think it's around November. And then have the Revival be called up and have the Revival beat them for the titles.
Well, I think the Revival is the best tag team to ever be today. I've said that for a long time. And I think that those two guys should be the guys to be the New Day, whether it's after the record's broken or not.
Yeah, and then get New Day out of the tag team picture. They've been in it long enough. Maybe start a split for WrestleMania. I'd like to see the New Day, the triple threat match between those guys at WrestleMania.
That'd be cool.
I'd like to see a split from them, and then have Revival win the titles, and then maybe set up Revival versus Enzo and Cass for WrestleMania for the tag team titles.
I like.
Yeah, so that's an idea I have. So, I think easily New Day, as much as I really feel Anderson and Gallows just lost their momentum and WWE dropped the ball with them. I talked about with David how they should have been brought in as like the outsiders, like Hall and Nash, and WWE ruined them fairly early on. And by the time they did the Old Day skit, like that just completely ruined them for me.
When they started calling themselves characters and not being Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, that was it.
Yeah. I just feel like those guys could have been like the modern day Hall and Nash, and instead they're just two guys on the roster.
I wouldn't give them that much credence, but I will say that they were a dominant tag team in Japan. They could have been a dominant tag team in WWE, but they've been there almost a year already, and they look like poop now. So it's stupid.
Yeah.
I hate that I can't cuss on this channel, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, blame YouTube. Don't blame me.
Darn YouTube.
Or the YouTube sponsors.
You big poop heads. It's all your fault.
Stupid idiots.
Stupid idiots. Yeah, I can say that. That's right.
Exactly. All right, and now we have our main event, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. My prediction is that either Triple H or Chris Jericho, we were talking about earlier, there's been this talk about a possible triple threat for Hell in a Cell. And you would think before Jericho leaves to go resume his stuff with Fozzy, you would think that there would be some sort of blow up between Jericho and Owens. So, but then again, what's going on with Triple H? He hasn't been on TV in several weeks. So is there going to be a follow-up on that? what's going on here. I'm thinking either Triple H or Jericho interfere in this match, depending on what direction WWE's going in. What are your thoughts?
Here's what I would do, and this is I literally just thought of this right now as I was listening to what you were saying. I would have Triple H cost Rollins championship again.
Yeah.
And then I would have the triple threat at Survivor Series, whatever it is, and have Owens win by somehow screwing Chris Jericho and sending Chris Jericho off pissed off.
Right.
Then as we build toward Orlando and build toward Mania, what we do is we have Rollins versus Triple H, which we've been talking about for over 2 years now.
Right.
And then at the Rumble right around there, while Owens is still Universal Champion, maybe have Jericho win the Royal Rumble as a surprise and come in and go, I'm challenging Kevin Owens, and we get Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho one-on-one at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship.
There you go. I like it.
So I say Owens retains this weekend, like either Triple H or Chris Jericho. But I think more for Triple H is the more likely scenario. And then we build toward a triple threat between Jericho, Owens, and Rollins, where Jericho somehow gets Screwjob out of the win and then sends him off pissy, and then he comes back at the Rumble.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, one thing that also could happen is Triple H interferes, and then after the match, Jericho comes out and shakes Owens' hand and raises his hand, and then he turns on Owens and double crosses him, and that sets up something between Owens and Chris Jericho. So we'll see. But I'm expecting Owens to retain, and I expect outside interference and shenanigans. I think that
definitely.
I would be shocked if it's just like a clean finish with no outside interference. I would be shocked if we don't see Triple H and or Jericho involved in this match.
Definitely Triple H, Jericho, more than likely.
Yeah, so that's what I think, and there you have it. That'll wrap it up for our predictions. Any plugs besides the usual Twitter.com/_Jeff Meacham?
Anybody in Southern California that wants to check me out on Twitter _Jeff Meacham, Instagram _Jeff Meacham. Anybody wants to see, more from me or see like a live something or whatever, I'm thinking of doing different things. Like I'm thinking of doing a podcast. I'm not trying to talk wrestling, but the more I think about it, maybe After the Bell will become the podcast. But I don't know what I want to do. So anybody wants to give me free advice in person, come find me at College of the Canyons. Let me know.
You should try doing like the Facebook Live, what I've been doing. Maybe try that out.
The thing with Facebook Live is I have to have Wi-Fi and I have to be somewhere quiet, or quiet enough for me to do it. And when I'm here, I have my son, I have my family, and it's not always a quiet environment.
Right. So,
and plus, if I'm at school, I have Wi-Fi, then I'm outside and there's people walking around. It's a whole big thing.
It's a little complicated.
So it's life is complicated. But you know what? As a great musical philosopher, Hannah Montana said, life's what you make it. So let's make it rock.
There you go. All right, so we're ending this with a Hannah Montana quote. Hopefully we do not get too many dislikes for that, and hopefully the video quality and the audio quality was good for you guys. This is brand new software I'm using here on Skype, and hopefully it's better than Google Hangouts. So leave a comment. Hopefully everything worked out okay, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel, and we will see you next time.